Hello. Right, hopefully we're recording and hopefully I'm in focus. Right, today I'm going to do just a short video to show you how to make some Foamiran flowers. What I'm doing these for is look, I'm already starting, is a mini album that I'm making with unicorns and fairies. And these little flowers that I'm going to be doing on the front for embellishments. So what I've done already, I've cut the flowers out using my cutter bug out of craft foam, and I've actually used, the foam I've used is, let me just grab it quickly, flower forming foam, and it's Fleurs. Now, can I bring this, there we go. And I've used crocus patch. Can you see that okay? Yeah. And it's Fleurs. Yep, I've got that in. Oops, there goes my glue gun. I like this particular one, this brand. I haven't used other brands, so I can't comment on other brands. I've heard other brands are brilliant, including, I think it's 14 bar. And I know other people rave about them. So the dyes I've used for these ones, I got from China. Is it this one? Yep. This is the dye I've used. Can you see, have I got that in focus? Yep. This is the dye I've used here, as you can see. Yep. Okay. Cut it out multiple times. Now when I cut out, I tend to cut it out into four. This is a half a sheet, and I fold it up into quarters. Run it through the cutter bug, and literally, and you can do that 4 times. But what I did was I cut the A4 sheet in half twice, put the two together, folded it in half and stacked, and then cut it straight through the machine. Cuts brilliantly first time, no worries. And you can get 4 lots. I've done that one. I've also done this one. Am I getting this in focus? I really hope I am. I've also done this one. And some other ones for the rose. I'm going to have a play with the rose later. Which is this petal. And that's it in that colour and that colour. But I haven't pasteled them up, but I'm going to show you how to do that. Then what I've done is, when I pastel them up, let's get the pink one. This is a different shape. This is this shape one. To colour them up, it's very simple. Grab yourself a wet wipe. Now the oil pastels I'm using are the Pentel. Now I've just got the 25 colours. If you haven't got pastels, you can use your distress inks, your pro markers, your Copics, anything that'll take colour, that'll give colour. Those are what I've used. There's more likely other stuff out there. Personally, I don't know, because I'm still learning about this. Now the colour I use for these, I mean, choose your own colours. I'm using lemon yellow, which is number 1. Now my tip's broken on this, so then all you do is just wipe it onto your, these are wet by the way, they're not dried out, these are damp, and then just dab a little bit in the centre, turn it over and do the same again on the other side. You don't have to be perfect. So that's that one. Then for the edges, what I've done is I'm using number 11, and that's just red. Again, I'm hoping, oh, I didn't get that in, sorry. Number 11, red. And again, it's just a case of dabbing some onto your wet wipe, and then just do the edges. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect. They're not all the same depth or coming down the petal. Flick it over and do the same again. And it's just literally a hint of it. And as you can see, it's not perfect on there. Let me just bring it up. It's not perfect on there. But that's what I've done with these. I'll just put that to one side. But on these purple ones and deep pink ones, what I've done here, if I just get a tool, is on the inside I've used, excuse me, number 17 yellow green. Am I? Yeah, 17 yellow green. And on the outside I've just used white. So then we come to giving it shape. Easy, really easy. It's a case of putting them together, putting the petals together, folding them over, and because there's 5 petals here, so it's 2 to 2, folding them over, the odd one, just flick it up between your thumb, oh there, hold on, let me just put my teeth in, thumb and first finger, and just rubbing it together. A little bit of pressure, not too much. And because it's craft foam, the heat of your fingers and thumb rubbing together actually warms it up. Excuse me again. Bit of a tickly throat this morning. Then when you release, that's it. As you can see, sort of gives it some dimension. If you want a bit more, just rub it a little bit more, then just release it. And what's happened with the colour, the warmth has actually spread the colour, and you can't see much of it, but it's there, trust me. It's a bit difficult in this light to see it. It's actually, see how I've made that tighter now, but I'll show you how to get that out. But again, just pop it all together. I won't keep doing all of these because it'll be very boring for you. I'll just show you one more time. Again, just rub your finger and thumb together. I mean, no doubt you've seen this, and it's teaching you to suck eggs, as it were. I mean, this is just my take on it. Again, and then just leave it. So that's what you do with all of them. And then you're left with these. These have just started to open up. See how they start to open up after a while? See, that's that first one we've just done. That's already opening up, and this one's starting to open up now. The heat from the sun helps as well. So this is what you're left with. So then, I personally, I've got a nice embossing mat, like so. Grab an embossing tool. This is a very old one I've got, which is from when I used to do the Glitter Girls had glitter embossing boards. Now, excuse me, I'm going to have a quick drink of my coffee. See if that helps. Excuse me a moment. Sorry about that. Grabbing one of the larger ones. All I'm going to do is very gently just go round. I'm hoping, yeah, it is in focus, smashing. Just go around the centre a couple of times, but then what I'm going to do, because I've coloured both sides, is do the same, and then I will flick it over again. So again, just gently, I am applying a little bit of pressure, flicking it over, and do so. Now, I'm not happy with the way these have opened up so much, so I'm just going to give it another quick rub. Or the other way of doing it is very, very carefully, because this foam is prone to splitting, it's just tease the bottom of the petals open slightly. But you really do need to be quite careful in doing that. And then, because that takes out, in my eyes, a lot of the, try not to spin or press together the centre. Is that called the calyx? I can't remember. And then you can actually add dimension again to the, and then just open that out a bit. And again, flick it over. See how that's tearing? That's how thin it can actually get. It's quite, or you can actually just do one petal at a time, just to give it some dimension, just by rubbing it. So when you've got them the way you like them, then all you're going to do is grab your heat gun. Yep. And start building your flower. You only want the smallest amount. Hot glue is the best glue for this, and a smaller embossing tool. So just literally the tiniest dot of hot glue. Give it a little wiggle. Place it off centre so the petals go within. Get your bigger one and just press it down like so. Now, depending on how full you want your flower to look, I want this one to look quite full. So what I'm going to do, I've got two large petals there. But then what I'm going to do, just a little dab of hot glue again, bounce up and down, and that way then you shouldn't be left with any spider legs. You know what I mean, don't you? Flip that one over, and again put the petals inside of the other ones, like so. I should have got the next size up embossing tool out, because the big one's too big, I think. Let's have a look. Yep, like so. And then I think at least one more. So I drop more glue. Just hold that, bounce it up. Maybe even a little twizzle. This one's not playing ball now. There we go. Another little one. Hold on. Let me just give this a little twizzle. Good word, isn't it? I mean, you can even use tweezers if you want to pop this in. Again, do it so the petals are not all together like so. Pop that in like so. Scrunch it in. There we go. Now that's for all intents and purposes is done. But what I'd like to do is just to add a bit more to it. Let me just get the other one in. Give it a little bit. Now what you can do, have I got any out? That's a big one. Yeah, I've got 2. What you can do is grabbing a pokey tool. Now, I mean, you've just seen me do this. Go all the way through. Come through there. Mind you don't stab yourself at this point. And then just take off very carefully. Hold on. Sorry about this. I haven't thought this through at all. I'm just winging this, literally. Alright. Let me just grab some very thin wire. Like I say, I was just winging this. Alright, grab some wire. Let's see if we've got some other thin stamens. I don't know where I put my other ones actually. Did I put them in here? You know, when you can't remember where you put something, I'm terrible for doing that, you know. I really am. I thought I'd got them all in here, obviously not. I've got some green ones in there, but they're a bit big. I've got some gold ones. I've got thin gold ones. But they're not really the right colour for it, are they? I need the white ones. I'll have to have a hunt for them. Because I really can't remember. Oh, sorry about that. I shouldn't have gone through you like that, but never mind. Right, so grab a little bit of wire. This is how I do it. So, let's get some scissors to cut. So, just grab some wire. Fold your wire in half. You can see I haven't got a lot there. Now I've only got a couple of stamens here. Fold those in half. Thread the wire through there like so. And what I tend to do, excuse me, is twist the wire like so. I'm winging this, you can tell, can't you? Otherwise I would have been much better prepared. Like so. So that's going to hold it. Right, that hole's not big enough. So if you grab a skewer, you know the barbecue skewers, that hole that you made initially with your poker tool, just take it through the flower. Now that hole's going to look huge, but rather than trying to take it off, take your skewer all the way through, like so. Does 2 things. Number 1, it brings your flower up into a little cluster. Now if you put your wire through that hole, like so, and then that will actually bring your stamens through it without disturbing your flower, like so. And then turn it upside down. Yep. And then from the back, you've got the wire. Use your finger to hold the flower still and just do a little dob of hot glue on it, keeping it upside down, because then the hot glue will actually run down. I haven't done that very tidy at all. So what I'll do is I'll just drag that round a bit. And hopefully that will stay in place for me, like so. There we go. Leave that just for a second or two. And then there, will be my first flower to go on the front of the mini album, like so. And that is my, I don't know what flower it is. It's, to me, it's just a nice, pretty, but as you can see, considering that started off life like that, and it's now turned into that, I think that's turned out quite pretty. So if we have a go at these ones quickly, yeah, I think we've got enough. Because don't forget we put the white on these. I'll just show you a purple one quickly. So a little bit, oh, that's a big blob, a bit scary. So yeah, look, the heat's trying to, with the heat of the glue, the petals are trying to curl up on me. So I'll just drop that in there, like so. Let me just bring that petal round. I don't know whether you can see it on camera there or not, but the white, on the tinge of white on it. What I'm going to do here, yeah, I've got another large one there. I'm going to do 3 large ones this time, instead of just the 2 large ones. I'll just put a tiny, and the other thing I'm going to do as well, hold on, it needs a bit more of a curl on it, that's better. So let me just pop that one in there. Like so. I need one of the small ones. Like so. So that one can go there. And then because some flowers have a totally different colour centre, what I'm going to do is, I'll just quickly wrap this one. Oh, there's some stones. I'd already got them out, that's why I couldn't see them in the box. Silly woman. I'll just open this one out a little bit. Don't know whether I'm still, yeah, I'm still in focus. That makes a nice change for me. I'll just carefully do the petals at the base. This is where fat fingers do not help. And what I'm going to do is just do the tips again. Try not to do the centre where I've opened up. There we go. And there it is. Opening that up a tad. I don't even know whether this is going to look right or not. But at the end of the day, excuse me, it's only a little bit. It's not as if it's the end of the world, is it? Let's just pop that there. Do that like so. Drop it all in. Okay. Just open that up a bit there. Bring you around, that's it. Right, where's my poker tool? First one with that. Take it off. Second one with the skewer. Take that all the way through. Like so. All the way through again. Like so. Grab your wire. Cut. Fold your wire in half. Stamens. 1, 2, 3 this time. I think 2 was looked a bit tight. Fold those in half. Loop those. Wire through the centre. Twist the wire to hold the stamens. Just a few twists. There we go. Push the wire through the hole to bring the stamens through. All done. I need my tweezers. I've got some glue there which I'm not happy with. That's better. Let's bring those up. Just a tad. I'm not too worried about the glue being on the back because you don't see the back with that being on the project, whatever project you're working on. They've come down a little bit too far. Push those back, there we go. And then let's have just a drop of glue on the back to hold them in place. I'm hoping my hand's not just covered absolutely everything I've just done for you. So that's just 2 on the fly, as it were. Just hold those there. Where's the other one? There's the other one. So there's number 1. Hold on, I've got to just bring that up a little bit. And there's number 2. Actually, that other colour in the middle looks quite cute. So there's them 2 for now. So, and like I say, they came from, those 2 came from that die. So, I hope you enjoyed this short but sweet, well I think it's sweet, flower video. And when I've mastered the rose one, I'll show you how I did that one. Alright, thank you very much for watching and I hope you have a lovely day. Bye bye.